Hello, everyone. This is Mr. E with Mr. E's Mobile Shoe Shine Service. I think I talked about that I want to start doing some videos of the first book I published and wrote. And I'm going to have different people coming in, sitting them down, doing interviews with them one on one. But I think it's going to be special. I'm excited about it. Kind of give the audience a different feel of the different people, that, no matter what background, nationality, what you do, that it can really help you in your everyday walk, trying to find your purpose and path. But today I got a special gift for you.
Oh,
It's my wife. She read the book
of
and she
course.
got a little insight on a little of my history coming up, my journey. So I'm real curious about what she got out of the book, and none of this is script. It's just we pretty much just open it up talking, and that's how it's going to be with everybody that I talk to. I want you to just be open, whether it's good or bad, what you got out of the book. I really want to know your thoughts, but I believe it's going to be a blessing to you. So let's get into this thing here, because I'm surprised to hear what I'm going to hear from it. First of all, state your name and what your occupation is.
Oh my. Okay, so we're going really formal. So I think for purposes of this, I'll just share that my name is Nicole and my occupation is his wife.
Wow, see, I wasn't expecting that, but that's good. That's good. So, what do you do for, say, well, what can I say this?
It's hard to interview somebody that you're married to because you like know all the questions and stuff. I don't know that people want to talk about what I do for a living. I think we want to dive into
Well,
this
that's
book.
true. That's true. But what I want to do is give the audience a sense of, like anybody can read the book
Oh
and
yeah.
benefit
Okay,
from
okay, I
it.
got you, I got you.
So
Okay.
that's why I'm trying to get the audience that,
Okay.
hey, no matter if you work at Target or you have your own business, whatever it is, there's something in the book that you will get from this. But coming from me, I can say that, but coming from somebody else that's
Okay,
read the
okay, I
book,
got you, I got you. Okay.
just you gotta
Okay.
go deep, just
So,
enough.
all right, I got you, I got you. Thank you for explaining that. So, let's see. I've spent more than 30 years in corporate America, a couple degrees from the University of Michigan, go blue. Very analytical, deep thinker, very business corporate like. Again, have spent just decades primarily around health insurance, health and welfare benefits plans, and so yeah, that's a little bit about me. But again, I'm the wife in this role, so
Okay, well that's good though, because it was funny because I didn't really think that you would want to be interviewed
oh no
by
no
the
no no no
book,
no no no
So
no.
it was kind of an honor for me to really get her thoughts
Aw.
on it. About the book. Like we've been married 12 years, so to really get her perspective on the book
Mhm.
is very enlightening for me. So I'm glad she chose to
Yeah.
want to do an interview, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
So anything else you'd like to share, or
Just to, I guess, follow up on that. So Elisha is very, very kind in how he lets me sort of enter in and out of some of his business ventures. There are many that I choose to stay very much behind the scenes on, always here to help and whatever he needs me to do. But I really do allow him to be very front and center, and I can just be in the background being supportive. And I think he does that for me in my career as well. But for the book, when he said he wanted to start doing these interviews, I was like, well, I need to be number one. Like, I need to be the very first interview that you do, because I feel like I was there from the beginning. So it is. It's been a labor of love for this book. I know for him, and in a lot of ways for me, and for everybody else who helped to support it. So, yeah, I was determined to do an interview, and I wanted to be the first one. So, thank you.
well, it's like, again, I can say it's an honor to have her sitting next to me, inside our bus, because this is what
Ah,
I wanted to do something different with the bus. This is my mobile shoe shine service. You can find me on mreshowshine.com on my website. You can also email me at mreShoes@yahoo.com. But we get on to that later. But it's all about the bus. But I really wanted to give a different feel because some people would even think about doing an interview inside of a bus, but it is laid out a mobile shoe shine. So it's one of a kind. Like I said, you can go on my website and see it. But I just wanted to be more intimate, like a one-on-one, so you get your time and space in doing it. So that's the reason why I chose the bus, because for one, it's going to be different because I believe I'm the only one that has a unit that's set up like this. And second is that actually have it so you can actually do an interview in it. Makes it something different, you know.
Yeah,
What
I
do
mean,
you
it's
say?
super comfortable in here. These are great chairs. I remember when you first put them in, and very temperature controlled. So, yeah, I think it's a great spot to do the interview.
Well, you know, I appreciate that. So, before we get started into it, what was your thoughts on when I said, you know, about writing a book? What did you think about that?
Well, you know, it's super funny. So, one of my lifelong dreams has been to write a book. I have done nothing with that dream. I'll get to it for sure. But, you know, I'm the one who reads books and who's the avid reader. I've always got, you know, a book on my Kindle that I'm reading. And so I was kind of surprised when you said you wanted to write a book, but it made perfect sense, like as our conversation continued. And I really remember it from start to finish, in all honesty. And you were, well, where do I start? How do I, you know, what do I do? Like, how do I piece it together? And what was my advice to you?
Just right.
Just right. That's what I told him. Just right. And when I say just right, you had some of it. I feel like handwritten, and then but I think you typed most of it.
I did.
Okay, he doesn't type, like he doesn't know ASDFJKL sim. Nope, no. Not him. He pecks.
I peck, but I'm a fast pecker though.
He's a decent. Anyway.
I mean, I ain't the best, but I can get the work done. You know.
So yeah, he typed. How should I say? He did type. So yeah.
So I think it was something because I think one of the things that I always wanted to do was, you know, to write a book, but I just didn't know what the book was going to be on.
Yeah.
And I knew God was going to allow all that to happen in the time and season. And when it was the right time and right season, it was good for me. I was in that space to be able to write it.
You were ready to do it. Yeah.
You know what? I think let me say this, you know, if you are thinking about writing a book or something like that, you gotta be in that space to do it because it takes a lot of work. You know, it was like a 9-month span from thinking about it to start to finish. So, but it's a very unique journey because it allows you to go back into your history and your journey to get you where you got to right now. So I think that was fun for me, and to be able to share a little piece of me, let people find the backdrop of me coming up to where I'm at right now. So that was fun about it though. But I really want to get the thoughts from my wife on reading the book because, you know, some people are like, oh, she might be biased because that's your wife, whatever. I'm like this. She's a straight shooter. She's a straight shooter, but she's also a reader, and she's also a person that can lead interviews and stuff like that. So I really want to know her thoughts because it's going to be interesting because she's going to give me give me a different side of what maybe I'm not used to seeing every day from a book. So, but I'm gonna let her talk a little bit about that though. So tell me, Mrs. Nicole. So when you started reading the book, knowing like you didn't know like my background, or you kind of knew some of it because I shared something when we was dating, whatever. But you didn't really know the extent of, you know, what I really went through.
I obviously, having been your wife for, you know, a while now, I know your background, but this was just from a different perspective. And it's so funny. I think as a wife, when you think you've heard all the stories and kind of those pivotal moments in your spouse's life, these were some new ones. And I found myself just I don't know, I learned some new things about you, which is shocking. I learned some new things, and obviously we had to distill the content in the book down, you know, to be, you know, easy to read kind of book, but there was a lot that about your background and your childhood that we didn't make it into the final cut of the book, and so. But the parts that are in there, I think, are the foundational parts of your life. Like I love the stories about your grandparents. Unfortunately, I never got to meet them, but I know how much they shaped your life because of, how you sort of navigate different things in our lives. I know that comes from like, your grandparents' influence. I didn't get to meet your dad, your father either, but I certainly know about the absence, and I'm always amazed at, and you touch on it a little bit in the book, but I just have to give a shout out to Mama Smith. Hi, number one. But what your mother did is incredible. I was a single mom for a hot minute with a very involved father to my children. But what your mom did solely alone for you guys' entire life, I think is incredible. That's probably book number two, from Miss Maddie's perspective. Um, so I just appreciated that even more after reading the book. And as you said in the book, I think one of the most incredible things is when he says he grew up in the church, like, I think you guys probably lived in the church, sun up to sundown, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when was Bible study? Like Wednesday,
Like on a
Thursday?
Wednesday, yeah, Wednesday
okay.
night.
So they were always there. But when he speaks about how every single one of the seven of them is still in the church, is very true. It's very, very true. And so I can see how foundational that was in your childhood. And obviously, I see that in you every day. This is a man who walks by faith. And so, again, those are just a couple of the points in the book that I was like, yeah, that this is 100% my husband, authentically, and it explains a little bit about kind of who he is. The other part that was in the book that I loved is
now don't give it all away now.
Okay.
But
just one more little piece.
Yeah, just highlight.
Little piece. That you talked about how you said you asked your mom, "Were you a happy kid? Were you a happy baby?" Because he's such a joyous man. Like he is just. I've very rarely seen him upset. And actually, when he's upset at me, that's really unpleasant for me. That means I've done something royally wrong. And she said, yeah, he was a happy baby. And I was like, oh my goodness, he's been happy. He's been this way his whole life. But again, that's his core. That's who he is. So
I think one of the things about when I was writing the book, it just allowed me to really relive some of the incidents, some of the events, some of the knowledge that I got growing up, some of the heartaches, because what I learned is that everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a beginning, and everybody has a now, a future, but everybody has a story. It's just that I was blessed enough to be able to put it in a book so other people can read, and hopefully it would bless them, and they won't feel like they was the only one maybe going through this in their life, whatever. So you never know what a person has been through just because it looked like they got it all together.
No. Yeah.
So don't take a person for granted just because they look like they got all the pieces together. But you got to go back to the beginning and try and look at their journey to see what they went through. And then it explains how they are today. It's because that's what made them to who they was, So, I mean, just even, putting it out. And like, even today, I sometimes forget that, yeah, I am an author, but I really don't look at it because it's still my everyday. I still do my everyday, but when people, it sometimes run across my mind like, oh yeah, I am, and that's a blessing even to look at something that you created from nothing, and now other people can read it, and you can hit some points that can help them whatever journey they're doing. So that's one of the things I really wanted to really stress in this book was that I really want people to find something in there to help them find their path.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody got a path. You know what I mean?
Everybody's got a path. Everybody's got a path. And I love all the analogies of how you break it down and keep it very simple about, you know, polishing your shoes and how that can relate to maybe some of the tests and trials that people face in their life, and the repetitive nature of, protecting your shoes and the shining of it. It has a lot of really easy to understand parallels to, I think, a lot of things that everybody faces. So it's a good read. It's an easy read. I was telling Elisha this morning, I read it again in preparation for the interview, and I'd been away from it from a few months after, reading it numerous times, like as we were going through the process. I really hadn't read it in about 3 or 4 months, and so it has a lot of parallels to everyday life, and it's just a easy to read story about your journey and your path. So it's a good read. It's a good book. It's a
You
good book.
know, I mean, it's just amazing though to like have it and
Yeah.
actually to be able to share it and other people can get it. Also, you can go to Amazon right now to get it. It's called The Gift Behind the Shine at your Amazon on your Amazon uh, page right now. So you can go order it. Just type in The Gift Behind the Shine and it'll pop right up. But listen, I want to kind of bring it to a close. But what would you say to the average person that
Mm.
be like, what about this book? What would be something that you would tell them, like, why they should pick up this book?
Ooh, I think a little bit of what I said before, that this is a ministry to my husband. It is a shoe shine ministry. I didn't understand it until the very first time that I saw him do shoes, and this is even back before the bus. He just has this personality and this charisma that, again, comes alive when he's able to just sit down and talk to people. And I've witnessed it so many times. Somebody will come up, to us, we'll be out or about in something, and they'll say, I thought about what you said. Or he'll invite somebody to church after, having done their shoes, and they'll say, those words that you gave me, they really inspired me. They helped me to see another perspective. And, whether it's kids or marriage or relationships or jobs, like, he always just speaks from a point of faith. And I think that's pretty rare in this world. So I think if you're just looking for an inspirational read that's, based on his life, but also gives you some practical tools and tips, and it puts it in this whole shoe shine ministry kind of arena that he works in. It, it'll bless you, honestly. It'll bless you. So, again, kudos to you. Congratulations, honey.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
I mean, it's nothing like having a good coach by your side to tell you, "Go team." No, that's not right. But but in a way that it's loving, not something that's tearing you down. But last thing I want to say is this: is that I never thought that doing shoes would be the path that God used me on.
Yeah.
So I said that to say this, that no matter what you're doing, no matter how it seems like, you're not getting nowhere, but if that's God's purpose and plan for you to be on to get there, trust the plan. Trust your gift, because everybody has a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Trust your gift and let your gift work for you. And if you put God first in everything you do, God will show you your path that you're on. And just because you went through a lot of things coming up doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path. It's just that sometimes we don't know what our path is. But our events that we go through from beginning to now lead us to our path. So God can get you on that path that he can get the most out of your gift.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your interview,
You're welcome.
your words.
I'm proud of you.
Your words. Thank you that, like I say, I'm going to be doing this with a few more people. but I'm also going to be, it's going to be my YouTube videos. I'm going to take little clips of it and put it on Instagram,
Mhm.
so people can go and get this whole interview on YouTube. But I'm going to be supplying the YouTube um,
Link.
link.
Yeah.
But tune in, But yes,
Yeah.
get the book. It's called The Gift Behind the Shine on your Amazon today. All right. Thank you again for your time. Thank you out there. And please, give me your feedbacks even after you view the different videos that I'll be sharing. Give me your feedback. Let's talk. Leave a comment. And like I said, if you buy the book, I would love to interview you too. So I will come to you to do the interview wherever you're at. It'll be an honor to just get your feedback on the book. And if you get it, share it with somebody. Tell them where they can get it from. Let's blow this thing up. Let's get this book of The Gift Behind the Shine in everyone's hands. You can get it to family members, friends, enemies. You can buy double for the enemies that you have. Bless them with it. I don't care, but just bless them with it. But listen, thank you for your time, and we'll be talking soon. God bless.
Bye.